So hey guys, and welcome back to Born Traveller, and welcome to Nairobi in Kenya. Okay, let's get started. So I've arrived in Nairobi and I'm going to show you around this fabulous city, one of the best cities in Africa. Now I do apologise, this video is not going to be the best video I've ever made because filming in Kenya is really not easy. You can film in the not so safe places because there's no security, but everywhere there is security and police that every time you get your camera out in say a posh shopping centre, they will tell you to turn it off and delete the footage. Because of security here, it is really difficult to actually make YouTube videos in Kenya. It's one of the hardest places I've ever been. So when it comes to accommodation here in Nairobi, I recommend getting an Airbnb, definitely. You're going to get a better value for your money. You're also going to be in probably a nicer area. I'm stopping in Nongong Racecourse Apartments. It's a huge apartment built by the Chinese a few years ago. It's very quiet here. It's in like a remote compound. There is a school here, and as you can see here, there's a pool. You've got everything you need. Now, it is winter time here, so the pool is probably not in the best. You know, it's probably not the best time of the year to swim, but you could do it. It's just very cold. There used to be a gym here, as you can see, but it looks like it's closed down, unfortunately. So the gym, unfortunately, is gone. So the apartment here costs $450 a month. So it's pretty good value, but that does include Netflix and Wi-Fi, and you're in a very secure area, and it's in a pretty good location for Nairobi. It is a little bit out of the centre, but taxis here with Uber and Bolt are not expensive to get around. So Airbnb is the way to go. If you did want a hotel, there's one I would recommend. I'll put the name up now. It's on booking.com. It's $10 a night and it's in the CBD, right in the centre. It's got pretty good reviews. I've not actually stopped there myself, but it seems okay. You could stop in a hostel here. They're more kind of like out town, more like jungle safari places where you stop in a tent or something like that, but they're still like $10 a night. So when it comes to food in Nairobi, there certainly is a lot of choice, but basically there's local food and then there's kind of Western food. So the local food menu here, you can see the prices are around $2 per meal. You can also get breakfast for around $3. It's really not expensive at all. They also do like beef stew and things like that. It's really good value. So per meal, you know, you do get quite good value. Then there's more Western style places like this coffee shop here where you can get more Western food, burgers, pizzas, etc. And this price has got up to about $6 to $10 per meal. Obviously, it's a nicer area, and you know you can get everything you want, but prices do jump quite a lot. So there's really like local prices, and then there's kind of Western style prices. There's nothing really in between. So this place is called Java House. This is obviously English breakfast with a coffee. This costs around, you get some toast as well actually, and this costs around 900 Kenyan shillings, which is about $7.50. It's not cheap, but certainly not that expensive. So when it comes to things to see and do here in Nairobi, one of the best things you can do is you can come here to the Giraffe Centre and you can feed the giraffes. It's a really exciting thing. I actually did it 10 years ago, last time I came to Kenya. It was really interesting. As you can see, there's loads of safari vehicles here. You can do safari, by the way, for about $300 US each. You want to go to a place called River Road if you want to book it. Just go down to River Road. There's plenty of places where you can book safaris. And basically it's like a luxury tent you stop in. It's basically like a 3-day safari. And that's essentially the normal. I'm not going to go down to River Road because it's not the safest area, and I definitely don't want to take my camera down there. So just be careful when you go there, but it is safe enough to go down and book your tours. You can see how big they are, massive.
So, what are they? Long tongue, and you want some too, and the tongue is silver.
This one is Daisy.
Daisy. Silver tongue.
So when it comes to shopping, one of the best places to come is here, the market village. It's probably one of the best places to hang out as an expat or as a traveller. It's not the cheapest place, but you know nothing in Nairobi is cheap anyway. But there's some lovely bars and cafes. There's a H&M, there's Zara, there's Carrefour. You've got everything really you need. You can do a lot of shopping here, and they say good food, and it's very secure and it's very nice. You can see it's a beautiful place to hang out. So when it comes to food shopping, this is the place you want to go to, Carrefour. Carrefours are everywhere in Nairobi, and to be honest, you can get all the Western style products you want pretty much is the same as America or Europe. I think Carrefour's in Nairobi are absolutely fantastic. There are some products that are very, very expensive, like noodle soups or cup of soups, are like $5. But most of the products are pretty reasonable. Meat is very cheap in Kenya, as well as is vegetables. So overall, it's not that expensive to food shop if you're going to cook at home in your Airbnb. In terms of clothes shopping, I always recommend going to Decathlon, and thankfully Nairobi does have a Decathlon. It's at what they call the Hub, which is this beautiful shopping centre. So if you go on Safari and everything, you can pick up everything you need at Decathlon. The things you're always going to need is water. They have these water filling stations, so you can just go, you basically buy a big tub. It costs about $2 or $3 for 20 litres of water. Don't drink the tap water here, it's not safe. So when it comes to money here in Kenya, this is what you need to understand. M-Pesa. M-Pesa is basically money in Kenya. There is cash, but everybody has M-Pesa. So you need to buy a Safaricom SIM. Must be Safaricom. Once you've got that, then you can download the M-Pesa app and you can register the app. You have to go to one of the M-Pesa shops, Safaricom, and you can get it registered. Once you do that, then you can use M-Pesa. Right, so what is M-Pesa? Basically, it's digital money. You can load it up. I can load money up onto my M-Pesa account, which is linked to my SIM card, and I can send cash to and receive cash from other people through my phone. That's how money is transferred here in general. There is normal cash, but M-Pesa is always the way to go. If you get a taxi, the taxi driver is never ever going to have change. He will ask, "Oh, I'll pay you back in M-Pesa." So you must make sure you get this registered. There are obviously also ATMs which you can take out money. You can take out about 50,000 Kenyan shillings, which works out at around $350. Charges around $3 to $5, so actually ATMs are a pretty good way to go, really. There is also money exchanges, and I would always recommend, because you're in Africa, at least having $200 or $300 in cash on you, because cash is always king. So you can obviously exchange that into Kenyan shillings if you need to. Exchange rates are pretty good. You do lose a bit, but the exchange rate in the Kenyan shilling at the moment is so good that you don't really notice it. When it comes to banking, I recommend Wise. Wise offer a multi-currency account that you can keep up to 50 different currencies in. So open a borderless account today and get started. Link in the description. So when it comes to the internet is very good actually here in Nairobi. You can get Wi-Fi, which is about 10 megabytes a second from your Airbnb, but also you can get 5G on this Safaricom network, which I would recommend. Obviously for your M-Pesa, you're going to need Safaricom anyway. So if you get a Safaricom SIM at the airport, it costs around $15 and you get about 50 gigs worth of data. So it's pretty reasonable. I wouldn't say it's the cheapest in the world. There's no such thing as unlimited data here like Thailand, but it's still pretty reasonable. I would actually recommend getting 2 SIMs if you rely on work. Get an Airtel as well, because reception can be dodgy in some areas. So definitely get 2 SIMs, one from Safaricom and one from Airtel. When it comes to healthcare here in Nairobi, it's actually not too bad. There's pharmacies everywhere, and pretty much you can get any medicines you want. You just go to the counter and ask for any antibiotics. They'll just serve you straight away. You don't need any prescriptions or anything like that. There is also actually pretty good healthcare actually. The doctors are pretty good. I wouldn't say they're world class, but it's certainly okay for, emergency treatments or anything you need sorting. I actually had to go to the dentist and get a tooth fixed. It cost about $85, which was actually cheaper than the original treatment in Thailand, which was $120. So the service overall is not bad in Nairobi. If you want to stay healthy abroad, I always recommend having travel insurance. Never leave home without it. The travel insurance I use is Safety Wings. They offer comprehensive travel insurance for €50 a month. Link in the description. What's weird is, even though I stop in this really nice apartment block, as you can see it's got security and it's got a compound, the actual outside is still pretty undeveloped, should we say. So even though it's quite safe around here, walking with valuables like cameras and stuff in general is not a good idea. I've been down here quite a few times and I know this area in particular is pretty okay, but here in Nairobi theft is common. Unfortunately, even from like a taxi, somebody could, if you got your window open, somebody might come and grab your phone, so you've got to be careful with the things outside. As I say, this particular part seems okay, but you really do need to know the area before you start doing things like this, filming. In a lot of times it's not that good idea. If you're going to stay in somewhere nice, it's probably going to be a gated community here where you have security, and they have security around. It's going to be a compound, so most of the places you're going to stay in Nairobi is always going to have security. When it comes to transport in Nairobi, there's only really one way to get about, and that's Uber or Bolt taxis. Nairobi is not really the safest place for a Western to be walking about the streets. I'm not saying it's completely unsafe, but if you walk around the streets, you're going to get a lot of attention. People will talk to you, and you don't really know why they're talking to you. They're just being friendly, or they're trying to scam you, or they're trying to rob you. So I would recommend taking a taxi everywhere. They're not expensive. It only costs a few dollars for about 10 or 20 kilometers. So the best way is to download the Uber or Bolt app and use a taxi everywhere you go, day or night. You can also take something called a boda, which is a motorbike, which I'll show you now. So this is a boda. It's a motorbike taxi. This guy's been taking me all over. So it costs about $1 to $2 for a few kilometers. They're pretty safe and they're pretty good. Very nice people, and you can pay them by M-Pesa. The other way to go is by bus. You can take a bus, they're pretty cheap. You can also go by here, by Matatu. These are one of the easiest ways to get about the city. Probably not the safest, but they're certainly okay to get about the city. Pretty easy, very, very cheap. Very, very cheap. Going to cost you less than 50 cents anywhere in the city. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification button, and I'll see you next time.